So are you still there, Yana?
Yes, I'm here.
Am I saying that correctly?
Sorry?
Am I saying your name correctly? Is it Yana?
Yes, my name is Yana, right.
Fantastic.
And I'm not sure in my internet connection, so maybe we will have some problems with it, but I hope not.
I hope not to, but I've dealt with so many different internet problems that nothing would surprise me.
Okay.
So you are here to learn some English, yeah?
Yes, I'm here for this.
So how do you use English in your daily life?
Oh, I use it for my job, and I use it for speaking with my friends from different countries, and I use it, yes, I use it for freedom, I think.
What do you mean freedom? Freedom to do what?
It's a free connection with different people. I like traveling a lot, and this is the traveling is my passion. So I like to feel myself free in any corner of this world.
And being able to speak English comfortably gives you that kind of freedom to travel anywhere.
Yeah.
Where have you traveled to before?
I have traveled in Europe. I like Europe very much. I like different historical places. And I like European people. And so on. I don't know what to say, but Europe is the best place for travel for me.
And it's so close for you, so it makes it easier.
Yes, I'm afraid of long
airplane rides?
Yes, right.
So I've done plenty of those.
It's normal for me to have a flight about 2 or 3 hours, not more. That's why I have never been in Asia because it's too far from Russia, I think. I have never been in America. The same reason. So Europe is the best place anyway.
Once the first 1 or 2 long flights are stressful, but after that you get used to them.
Maybe you're right. I can try one day, maybe.
When you work up the courage someday.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite place to visit to?
Oh, London. And
London.
Yes. I like London very much. And I like Budapest.
Budapest?
Yes. I like different thermal places with thermal water and spa and so on.
I know there's a lot of those around the Black Sea, the Turkey area, right?
I've never been in these places in Turkey. I visited Turkey. I've did it, I think, about 10 times because I have a business which creates different meetings, different conferences, and so on. And we make it in Turkey very often.
What do you think of the country of Turkey?
I like Turkey very much. And it was a time about 2 years ago when our country had a problem with Turkey. I think you know about it. And we had about 2 years when we couldn't visit Turkey.
Wow.
But it wasn't how it's in English. Nobody said me that I can't do it, but it wasn't safe.
It was safe.
It wasn't safe. Yes, it wasn't safe. Those 2 years we didn't make any projects in Turkey, and I miss this country very much because I like the sea, I like the sun, and I like people who live in Turkey. They are very friendly.
Yeah, I've had a few friends also visit there, and they've said much of the same thing. They really missed being there because it was such a great place with wonderful people. So you've been to Turkey 10 times. That is quite a large number of trips there.
Yes,
so how often do you go traveling?
It's because of work. The Turkey trip was because of work.
So how often do you go on vacations for fun?
How often what? Sorry?
How often do you go on vacations for fun?
For fun?
For leisure, your own self.
Yes.
Not work.
Yes, I try to do it about 2 times for a year.
That's wonderful. And do you often go traveling by yourself or with others?
I traveled with my family. I travel with my family usually, yes. And I make all of my trips by myself, so I don't use any services of agencies, for example.
Using the internet today, you can do it all yourself.
Yes.
And do you enjoy the process of planning out a trip?
Yes, I like it very much because I have an event agency in Russia, and to create something and to plan something is my passion, and I like to do it. Yes.
So it's like creating a special event for somebody.
Yes, for myself in this case.
Instead of for other people, right? That's wonderful. That trip planning is always what drains my energy. I find that process to be very difficult.
Yeah. So do you use the services of different agencies?
No. That costs extra money. I'd much rather save the money and do it myself. But it does take time, as I'm sure you know.
Yes.
So where do you work these days?
Where do I what?
Work.
Where do I work? I work for event agency. Event agency, yes. And I do different conferences for my clients. And different events for them. So it could be exhibitions, for example, or congresses, conferences, incentive meetings, and so on.
So are these primarily for businesses or for individual people?
For businesses. It's B2B.
And how long have you been in this business?
For 10 years.
Wow. So you must enjoy it.
Yes.
How did you get started in the event business. It's not a traditional career a kid grows up wanting to be in.
It was 10 years ago, and I had an agency which made some exhibitions for clients and could help clients with advertising in media. But then we changed our focus and decided to make for our clients only events.
So to only do events rather than also helping with advertising and other things.
Yes.
So narrow down the scope of your business.
Yes.
Do you think that was a good decision?
Yes, I think, because it helped us to make a good service for them. Because now we do very professional projects, because we have a very big experience in this maybe narrow way, I don't know how to say.
Focus?
Yes, because we focused.
So, right, you're in this very specific subset niche field.
Yes.
You are quite experienced.
But I know everything about events.
So you can feel like a true expert.
Yes, I do.
That's fantastic. It's great when one feels confident in one's job. And you feel you have a good understanding of how it works and what needs to be done to succeed.
Yes, I do.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Well, do you have any questions for me or any questions about OCTB and our process here?
I think yes. It's very interesting. I have never tried to learn English in this way.
Most of my students say that, yes.
Yes, and it's very interesting experience, I think. Especially because I have a lot of business trips in different parts of the world, and it's very hard to make English in one place stationary. So if I have a teacher who can be with me in that places where I am, I hope it will be very useful for me. This is the first reason. And the second reason is I tried to learn English, but it always was very bored for me. I don't like, I don't like to have a notebook and to write something and to make homework. But I like speak. I need to have wider vocabulary, I think. Do you understand what do I mean? Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't have a language barrier. I'm not afraid of speaking English, but I don't have a very wide dictionary. So, and I need some kind of way which helps me to to learn new words easily.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it could be when I speak with somebody, and if I will do it every day, for example, or very often, maybe in constant way, some kind of constant way, it helps me to learn language. It helps me to learn new words.
It definitely helps you to use those new words where you may have picked them up from reading them or hearing them, but if you don't use them, then you'll never get them memorized, stuck in your brain. And that can be one of the hardest parts.
You're right, absolutely, yes. Because I tried different ways to learn new words, but it doesn't work, unfortunately. I tried read and to write new words and read them again. But if you, but if you don't use it in your life, you don't remember it, unfortunately.
Yep. Honestly, it's the same way for me with learning new English words. And I'll find what happens is I'll read an English word in an article or a book I'm reading, and then I find myself using it the next day, or find myself using it in a conversation or when I write something. And so it's very interesting how that works because it's already in your brain.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing that with me. I do see we're getting close here to about 4 o'clock, so we probably should switch over to some corrections.
Yes, right.
So I just clicked the button, and you can see now we've taken back to the beginning of our conversation. And my general strategy is I just read straight through it and offer corrections as we go. So from the beginning. Hi, Karl. I'm fine, thank you. Perfect. Yes, I'm here. Sorry. Yes. My name is Yana, and I'm not sure of my internet connection. So we may have some problems with it. I hope not. Okay, yes, I'm here for this. I use it for my job, and I use it for speaking with my friends from different countries. And I use it for freedom, I think. It's a free connection, or a free way to connect with different people. I like traveling a lot, and traveling is my passion. So I like to feel myself free in any corner of this earth. Yeah, that works. I have traveled in Europe. I like Europe very much. I like different historical places, and I like European people, and so on. I don't know what to say, but excuse me. Europe is the best place for traveling. Both phrases work. You can say for traveling for me or to traveling for me. Either one's great. I'm afraid of long airplane flights. You could just say flights too. That's only airplanes fly. That's right. It's normal for me to have a flight about 2 or 3 hours, not more. That's why I've never been in Asia, because too far from Russia, I think. I have never been. You definitely said never. Occasionally I make a typing mistake, like you see there. The same reason. So Europe is the best place. Maybe you're right. I can try one. Maybe. London, yes. I like London very much, and I like Budapest. Yes, I like different thermal places. Places with thermal. The term I've heard is hot springs.
Hot springs, yes. I've just forgot the word. As I said, I can't remember some words, and this is yes.
This is common, yes. Water, spas, so on. I've never been to these places in Turkey. I have visited Turkey. I did it, I think, about 10 times, I think. Because I have business, which creates different meetings, different conferences, and so on, and we make an event in Turkey very often. I like Turkey very much, and there was a time about 2 years ago, our country had a problem with Turkey. I think you know about it. And we had about 2 years when we couldn't visit Turkey. But it wasn't, how was it in? Nobody said to me I couldn't do it, or it was forbidden, but it was not safe. Probably the best term. So those 2 years, we didn't make a project in Turkey, and I miss this country very much. I like the sound, and I like the people who live in Turkey. They are very friendly. It's because of work. The Turkey trip was because of work. How often what? Sorry, for fun? I try to do it about 2 times. Honestly, I would just say 2 times a year is a good phrase. You don't need the 4. Yes, I traveled with my family. I travel with my family usually, and I make all of my trips by myself, so I don't use any services or agencies, for example. Yeah. Yes, I like it very much, but I have an event agency in Russia, and to create something, to invent something is my passion. I like to do it. Yes, for myself in this case. Yeah. So do you use the services of different agencies? Yes. Where do I work? Where do I work? I work for an event agency. I do different conferences for my clients. For my clients and different events for them. So it could be exhibitions, for example, or conferences, incentive meetings, and so on for businesses. It's B2B. You're doing a great job here. This is fantastic. For 10 years. Yes, it was 10 years ago. And I had an agency which made, past tense, some exhibitions for clients and could help clients with advertising and media. But then we changed our focus and decided to make for our clients only events. The way I would say that is only make events for our clients. That's probably a little clearer sentence structure there. Yes. Yes, I think, because it helped us to make a good service. With service, perhaps provide would be a better term. Provide good service for them. Because now we do very professional projects because we have very big experience. A fancy word I would use here is extensive experience. In these narrow, maybe field, narrow is a good term. You could say limited, specialized. Then the fancy term I'd use is niche, which is like your own special place. I don't know how to say. Yes, because we are focused. Yes, but I know everything about it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think, yes, it's very interesting. I have never tried to learn English this way. Yes, and it's a very interesting experience, I think, especially because I have a lot of business trips in different parts of the world, and it's very difficult to study English in one stationary place like that. So if I can have a teacher who can be in the places where I am, that can travel with me, that can follow me, would be other phrases I think of using there. So those kind of things would work well. Something like follow me or travel with me or be in that place, the places where I am. I hope it will be useful for me. This is the first reason. And the second reason is I try to learn English, but it always is very boring. It's a very common mistake. You are boring, or you are bored. The class is boring. I do not like to have notebook and to write something and probably do homework is the more common phrase, at least in America. But I like to speak, and I need to have a wide vocabulary for myself. You understand what I say? Yes. I don't have a language barrier. I'm not afraid of speaking English, but I don't have a very wide dictionary. I need some kind of way which helps me to learn new words easily. Maybe it could be when I speak with somebody, and if I will do it every day, for example, or very often, maybe in a constant way, some kind of, the other word I might use is like a near constant way. It helps me to learn the language. It helps me to learn new words. Yes, you're right. Absolutely, yes. Because I have tried different ways to learn new words, but it doesn't work, unfortunately. I tried reading and to write new words and read them again, yes, but if you don't use it in your life, you don't remember it, unfortunately. Yeah, you're right. And we are at the end. Fantastic, Jana. Great job today.
Actually, Karl, sorry, I'm going to jump in here one more time if you don't mind.
Please.
Margarita, Jana's friend, who actually referred her to us, she just notified me that she so late with her meeting she couldn't do it, and I was going to propose to the both of you if you guys could carry on for another 30 minutes.
That's fine with me, if you're up for it, Jana.
Sorry?
So, Margarita, that introduced you to me, she's in a meeting right now, and she's running late, and she can't make it. And I was going to say if it's okay with you that we carry on for another 30 minutes if you have time.
So I can to speak with Karl some more time, yes, right?
Yes, if you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can have 30 more minutes on the house.
Okay.
All right, perfect. You guys carry on then. Sorry, Karl.
Hey, no problem.
To interrupt.
I guess then we go back to the beginning and we keep going.
Yeah, or maybe you can introduce a little bit of a, I don't know. No, it's up to you totally. Scratch that. You in charge. I'm putting myself on mute. Carry on. Okay.
It's the only way to get him quiet if he puts himself on mute, or else he'll keep talking.
And how can I get all of these, all of my job, all of the lessons which we make today, all of these my mistakes and all of
The corrections?
I mean, how can I get all of our class? All that you type and...
I just sent you a link in WhatsApp.
Okay. Yes.
Check the link in WhatsApp. Check the link in chat. WhatsApp.
Right. I was going to say, in the chat of this Zoom video, there's a link. That link stays live forever. So every class has its own unique link. So you can always follow that link, go back and review our conversation at any time.
Okay. Yes, it's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great system. So that way we can make corrections later. You can go back and review. All of those things work well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And can you tell me, Karl, if you have some time, how usually you make the lesson? So it's
a good question.
Speaking. Yes, it's only speaking, or you do some, you give me some homework, for example, to read the book or watch TV or serial or something else, and we discuss the way of teaching.
Well, the simple answer is that there are many ways. Many ways. I do it very student focused. So it really depends up to you what you would like. There are two main approaches that I take to lessons. Two main ones. One is we just have a free conversation. Now that free conversation could be like we've done today about life, traveling, hobbies, more personal details. It can be about business. Some people want to get into deep business topics, and I'm pretty good at being a soundboard, even though I don't know all of the terminology. Other people prefer talking about world events, politics, what's going on in the world today.
Mhm.
So those are the three general areas we find to talk about. I guess I'm going to say three approaches here. The second approach is a little bit of homework involved, where typically I give you an article to read, and hopefully a high-level English article, so you have maybe some new words, some new sentence structures in there, and then we come back and we talk about that article. So it gives us something to talk about, but it also gives you something to do on your own and maybe learn some new words from that. And then the third approach is a very more homework-based. Here are exercises and things, and then we discuss it in class.
Mhm.
So those are my three general approaches to lessons.
Okay, I see. And by your opinion, what the way is the best one? What is the efficient?
Well, it really depends.
Mhm.
Most efficient, yes, would be the right term. It really depends on the level of the student. There are some students who are very basic, and they need more exercise work just to create sentences in English. I saw the student before I was teaching at about 2 o'clock Moscow time today. That was very basic grammar. Other people have a language barrier, as you said. They maybe learned it in school, but they never had practice speaking. And for those people, I just recommend a free conversation, just about anything you want, because they just need practice speaking. And then for the higher level people, which I would include you in that group, I would recommend the article reading way. And that way we can have a little higher level discussion instead of simple, mundane, how's the weather, what was your weekend like kind of things. And you also then get to read a little bit higher level because you understand that.
Mhm.
So that's for my higher performing students is what I would recommend.
Mhm. I see. Okay. And one more question about them. How often do you think about me? How often do you think I should have lessons with you? One time per week or 2 times or more often?
I would probably say no more than 2 times a week, especially if there's homework involved.
Mhm.
And obviously, it depends on how busy your schedule is. A lot of my students struggle to find time to fit one lesson in a week amongst their busy schedule.
Mhm.
But you maybe have more time, so 2 or 3 is possible. But if you're also doing homework between classes, you probably don't want to have classes on back-to-back days, or else you'll never have time for homework.
Mhm. I see.
Right.
Okay.
And one of the other great parts I love about OCTB is we have flexible lesson timing. So the lesson can be 30 minutes, 45, an hour, 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on your schedule, your preference, my schedule, how it all fits together.
Okay. And what about the difference of the time between Russia and America?
Well, I'm actually in Malaysia right now. So I am 5 hours ahead of Moscow time.
Oh, so it's good for you to have lesson, for example, early morning, when in Russia in early morning, yes? I like it.
I have one student who meets with me for an hour before work every weekday.
Yeah.
So it works great. 7:30 Moscow time, 12:30 my time. I have lunch and then talk with him for an hour.
So 7:30 is occupied.
Typically, yes, 7:30 is occupied unless he's on a business trip.
Okay.
But that afternoon, my early afternoon, your morning time, 8:30 to 10:30, is my most free time of the week, typically.
I see.
So are you a person who likes to wake up early?
I think it's only one chance to have English lessons.
Because the rest of the day you're busy?
Yes.
Do a lot of your events happen in the evening?
Sorry?
Do a lot of the events that you plan and organize happen in the evening?
Oh, it depends on events.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because there are some business meetings or conferences
Mm-hmm.
have in the middle of the day, for example, kind of exhibitions only in the middle of the day, or business conferences to the first part of the day usually. But usually the big conferences include such kind as dinner, for example. And of course, if conference has a gala dinner, it's in the evening.
The conference has what?
Gala dinner.
Gala dinner, yes.
Usually,
Big.
the typical conference consists of different parts, such as business part of conference, then some kind of marketing parts when our clients talk about their product and discuss different ways of
Different ways of what? I'm sorry?
of promoting. Yes, and the third part is something like gala dinner, celebrating of something. I don't know.
Celebrating of something. Like an anniversary or an award.
Yes. It could be different, but anyway.
Yeah, so that way it makes it complicated to run such a conference because you have these different kind of events within one conference.
It's really complicated, yes, project.
But it's the kind of thing you enjoy doing.
Absolutely. I like to work with different interesting details. And I like
with different interesting states?
Details. And instruments. And it's very
instruments?
Yes, different kind of I don't know. What do I mean when I say instrument? For example, we can use out-of-box speaker for the conference, for example.
Out-of-box speaker?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can use different, for example, artists for conference or for gala dinner. And any conference makes different I forgot the word, sorry.
I'm not sure where we're going, or else I would help out. Many conference areas, parts?
I can take a dictionary and to look to find this word. I know this word, and it's a normal problem for me to forget it.
And as I said, and you may have even run in this in Russian. It happens all the time in your own language.
Yes. So any conference has different tasks and different goals. What I mean.
Okay.
So to decide this task, we have to use different ways.
And that way, it always stays fresh and interesting. It doesn't ever feel boring and stale.
Yes, it's interesting, of course.
Because every conference is going to be different. And within each conference, you have so many different projects to do. So it never feels routine.
Yes, you're absolutely right. My agency can, in one time, can make 2 or 3 conferences in one time, for example, in different parts of the world. And job as for me, as for my colleague.
Is it a large company that you work for?
Sorry?
Is it a large company that you work for?
It's big enough. So it's hard to say how it's my company is top 10 of event companies in Russia.
Okay.
So it's about 70 employees.
Okay.
So if we're talking about event agency, so it's a big company. But if we're talking about gas company or a company, of course, very small.
Yeah. Many of my students work in IBM Japan, which is a company of about 24,000, I think. And that's just the Japan part. IBM Global has like 200,000. So the number is quite staggering. But 70 people is actually a great size company, because then you can still basically know everybody in the company.
Yes, it's very good when you can when you know all of your employees and you can speak with all of them, and you know their problems and their questions and their tasks maybe. And it's very important when the goals of employees are the same as the goals of company. It helps to make a good business and interesting business for business and for
And people who work for business? Right, and that way they're not working against each other, but they're working with each other.
Yes.
And that works much better. Yeah. It's very difficult when you're working at odds with your boss, or at least your upper manager.
Yeah.
So do you ever have conflicts within the workplace?
Sorry, what I have?
Conflicts within the workplace?
Conflict? What is conflict? Sorry.
Like fights or problems with fellow employees, your colleagues?
Of course, I have some problems with my colleagues. It's normal because I think it's a dream when everything is ideal.
A utopia.
Yes, it's utopia, right? So it was very hard, especially the first time when I started my business, to discuss with my colleagues some kind of problem, or to set somebody that unfortunately you are not as good for us, for example, as I said before. But now I know one thing, that this is the way, and we have to move for this way in one not one side, in one direction. Yes, right?
One direction, that would be good. Everybody going in the same direction, in one direction.
Right. And if somebody wants to go, wants to change the way, this person has all rights to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And
so they're allowed to change the way?
Yes. And if company wants to change the way, the company too has the right to do it, right?
I would think the companies have a much bigger right to change the direction of the company than employees themselves. Employees have to follow the company's direction.
Yes, right. But not all of the employees wants to do it. And this time, in time of change, usually it happens when it changes in company. In this period, it's a really hard period for company and for employees, but some people stay in company and some people have to leave.
Those who can accept the change is those who can't.
Yeah.
It's difficult when a company changes direction, but sometimes that is necessary for the company to survive.
You're right.
Well, excellent, Yana. I do see that we've been talking again for about 20 minutes. So
Perfect.
we probably should get to switch over to corrections again. Deja vu. So 16, I think, is where we were last time. So now we're on to paragraph 17. And how can I get all of these? All of lessons is a better term than job. All the lessons which we make today, all these, my mistakes, and all of the corrections is the term I would use here. I mean, how can I get all of our class? All that you type. Okay, yes, that's perfect. And you can tell me if you have some time how usually you lead the lesson, teach the lesson. So it's only speaking, or you give me some homework, for example, to read a book or watch TV or watch a. Now, I will say here, serial is not American English. I think it's Russian English, because I've heard it from other Russians before. Americans would say TV series instead of serial. The way of teaching. And now we're getting one of these wonderful things where my platform doesn't want to load properly. And I'm trying to move on to the next paragraph, and I'm getting a little loading circle. These occasionally happen. Oh, and there it goes. There it goes. Okay, I see. And I would say, in your opinion, is a better word here. What way is the best one? What is the most efficient? I see. Okay. And one more question about how often do you think about me, how often do you think I should have lessons? 1 time per week or 2 times more often? I see. Okay. Okay. And what about the difference of time? I would say here, time difference between Russia and America. Oh, so it's good for you to have a lesson, for example, when in Russia it is early morning. Yes. So 7:30 is occupied. Okay, I see. I think it's the only chance to have an English lesson. Yes, all right. Oh, it depends on events. On event, yeah. Because there are some business meetings or conferences which we have in the middle of the day, for example. Client exhibitions only in the middle of the day, only business conferences, that's part of the day, usually. Usually the big conference includes such time as a client dinner, for example, and of course if a conference has a gala dinner, it's in the evening. Usually the typical conference has different parts, such as the business part of the conference, then some kind of marketing parts when our client talks about their product and discuss different ways of promoting. Promoting is a good term. The third part is something like gala dinner, celebrating a special event or occasion is another word that comes to mind. Celebrating something. Yes, it could be different reasons, but anyway. Yes, it's a really complicated project. Yes, absolutely. I like to work with different interesting details. Yes, and instruments. Yes, different kinds of, I don't know. What do I mean when I say instruments? Probably tools is a better term than instruments. Instruments are used more in music or in science. So in the laboratory, you have different scientific instruments or musical instruments. Otherwise, we typically don't use the term instruments. For example, we can use an out of the box is the term. An out of the box speaker for the conference, for example. Yes, or we can use, for example, artists for conference or for gala dinner. And many conferences, I forget the word, sorry. I can take a dictionary to look. Typically, I would say look it up to find it. I know this word, and it's a normal problem for me to forget it. So any conference has different tasks, different goals that it tries to accomplish. Might be a fancy thing to add there. Whatever. So to decide this task, we have to use different ways. Yes, it's interesting, of course. Yes, you're absolutely right. My agency can, in one time, my colleagues can make 2 or 3 contracts in one time, for example, in different parts of the world. As for me, as for colleagues, sorry, it's big enough, so it's hard to say how it's. My company is in the top 10 in event companies in Russia, so it's about 70 employees. So if we're talking about event agencies, it's a big company. But if we're talking about gas companies, it's very small. Yes. It's very good when you know all of your employees and you can speak with all of them. You know their problems, their questions and tasks. And it's very important when the goals of employees are the same as the goals of the company. It makes for good business and people who work for the business. Yes, it's very important. Sorry, what I have? Conflicts? What is conflicts? Oh, of course, I have some problems with my colleagues, and it's normal because I think it's a dream, utopia, unrealistic, maybe, dream when everything is ideal. Yes, it's a utopia, right? So it was very hard, especially the first time when I started my business, to discuss with my colleagues some kind of problem and said to somebody, unfortunately, you're not as good for us, for example, as I was hoping for. But now I know one thing that is this way, that I know one thing, that this is the way, and we have to live in this way in one, direction is a good word. You could say we have to all be on the same side, like that, meaning a similar thing, similar kind of idiom. Yes, right. And if somebody wants to change the way, this person has, the phrase I'm expecting here is every right to make it. Yes, and if companies want to change the way, the company too has the right to do it. Yes, right, but not all employees want to do it. And these times and times of change, it usually happens when it changes. It's happening. This period is really a hard period for company employees. And some people stay in the company and some have to leave. You're right. And there you go. We made it to the end again.
Yes. Thank you, Karl, very much.
My pleasure, Yana. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes. So bye.
Take care.